Order me an inhaler, because I'm not used to this much running. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to live in the medieval times? You know, back when there was dragons and you could go to the tavern and pick up a quest. I've always wondered what it would be like to run around in battle with just a sword, dodging arrows, maybe have to fight off a dragon. Well, until now, it was only something that I could do in video games, which, don't get me wrong, I loved. I am just like every other collector out there that has swords mounted on their wall, and they're waiting for the zombie apocalypse so they can go and use them. But what if I told all of you, you could actually relive these fantasies, these dreams, in 2021? It sounds crazy. We're gonna dive into something that I have never really done before. It's called LARPing. Now, we're going behind the scenes, and we're going to a town called Thaliondor. Town, village, I'm not sure. We're gonna learn together. But before we can do that, let's take a look at what LARPing actually is, because a lot of you might have a negative outlook on it, and I'm here to change your opinion. Or else. Was that corny? That was corny. Now let's take a look at the ever so trusty Wikipedia. LARPing, by definition, LARPing stands for live action roleplay. Most of you probably would have gotten that, but LARPing is a form of role-playing game where the participants physically portray their characters and enact the plot of a game. The players pursue goals within a fictional setting represented by the real-world environments while interacting with each other in character. The outcome of the player's actions may be mediated by game rules or determined by a consensus among players. Event arrangers, called game masters, decide the setting and the rules to be used, and they facilitate the play. Unfortunately, we don't know one single point of origin for LARPing, but what we do know is it was invented by independent groups in North America, Europe, and Australia, and dating back as far as 1977, where they had the first recorded group, which was Daggerar. Well, I'm probably not saying that right, but you get the point. And now, it's time to start this adventure, so I hop in my Jeep, and I do what I do best. Kinda, sorta, maybe get a little lost. Alright, so we're looking for the park, and I'm thinking it's kind of right up there where we can see that, if I had to guess. So I'm gonna give it a go. It's kind of a gamble, but we'll see. And after just a little bit of navigation, I finally found my way. All right, I think this is it. So we're gonna just pull up and we will park. And I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to be getting myself into. So we will kind of go and introduce ourselves. We're gonna meet some of the characters. I say characters as in every character in Thaliondor has a backstory, and actually a pretty in-depth backstory, to the point where they actually have a Discord where you can go and read every single character's backstory, where they're from, who they know, who they are, and kind of what they're all about. But for now, I guess let's get into it. And we're gonna do a full day of this, so we're gonna see kind of where it takes us. And apparently it's to a place that most would call a picnic area. But on this day, it is much more than that. This is a bustling tavern where you can go and find an opponent to battle for bragging rights, or you can even find allies to team up on a quest. And that is exactly what I'm here to do today.
Welcome to the Ringmaster, yay! For those of you who haven't been here before, essentially what today is you will form into parties. You will go into the woods and search relics. You will PvP other parties for those relics. You will then take the relics down there to Marcy. You can see is running up the hill. Everyone turns around and takes a gander. Aww. She summon a monster, and you will fight the monster. If you win, you get loot. If you don't win, sucks to suck.
Oh man, they don't mess
You
around.
guys will die a lot fighting monsters. They're tough, okay?
Okay, so if I've learned anything from the last couple minutes, step 1, we need to find some allies. So let's take a look at the tavern and see some of the possible candidates for who we could be partnering up with on this quest.
I'm Pontius the Willful. I am a fighter hero in Thaliondor.
Named Gorko. I'm a half orc, half human. I'm a Viking.
Name's Oberon Tree Traveler. I'm one of the few remaining druids within Thaliondor.
Samanosuke here. I'm part demon. Don't know what my other one is. Don't know who my father is. Don't know who my mother is. Kind of just showed up here in Thaliondor and started fighting.
My character was washed up on the beach of Thaliondor. Doesn't remember his full background. Slowly coming together as he progresses more into it. He knows that it has to do with the water, which is why Corvanus and him have come with a great connection. I followed another god named Takai, and when I went against him because of his wrongdoings, Corvanus came to my aid and gave me a weapon. It is not this one, unfortunately, but it is a red weapon, which is one of the two-handed weapons. And it probably stands about this big. It's a sword formed of an anchor.
So I'm a lone warrior. I fight by myself. I do have allies that will help, but I come in and I conquer all by myself.
My mom was a human, and my dad was a chief orc. Now how that became, my mom was a prisoner, and she escaped. So she ran through the woods, and she got cornered by wolves. The next thing you know, the orc hunting band, they found her and rescued her and took her to her chief. So then the chief was amazed by the beauty and the cooking that my mama did. So then they had me, and I had siblings that was full orcs. Of course I wasn't as stronger, but I was more faster and more raw. So they gave me the upper hand. But I didn't want to just stay there and try out for a chieftain position. So I left so I could take on the adventures of the world.
I founded the Tavern Tree and the tree that's over by the Healing Church of Vargrants.
Now the person you see wearing the mask right here, yeah, this guy, that's the ringmaster.
Weapons up!
He's the guy who's in charge of this whole show.
Play on!
All right, so the more I'm out here, the more I'm realizing it's like the Hunger Games. Not only are we now all aware of it, but everyone's starting to close in on the group. And if you take a look, what she's holding in her hand right now is the relic that she needs to bring back in order to fight one of the monsters. Bad news is, anyone kills her, she has to drop it. So the chase is on. And amongst all the fighting, it seems this team got away with the relic. Good for them. They picked a good time and they capitalized. So now that they've escaped with the relic, we're gonna get out of here, get out of the woods. I'm gonna take some of these layers off and we're gonna actually grab a sword and a shield. I'm gonna see how I do in battle. So I can't come all the way out here and not actually fight someone. So that's the thing. I'm gonna get into a battle one-on-one, gladiator style, and I'm doing it for you. All right, let's figure out how to get out of here. But before I can get into a real fight, I need to learn some of the basics. And who better than the man himself? Goes by the name of Nico.
Just check this out. So like, with the shield, this is my range here, right? If I go for your leg, I'm missing. So what I have to do is I have to overextend in order to get your leg. So when I go like this, I'm gonna, even if I block, I'm really leaning super far down. You can just go, if he like jumps back, moves his legs back, and throws over the shield, you can get your back.
It's like they say, no better time than the present. So we wrap up this little training session. I grab a sword and a shield, and I guess I gotta give it a go.
That's my other arm.
So I might not have won the battle. That's alright. I had fun, I learned a little bit, and I got to hit someone with a sword. Not long after this battle, though, it started to rain. So what better time than now to show everyone a little bit more about what Thaliondor is all about. So enjoy these clips, and I will catch up with you in just a couple minutes. wrap up the day, and I couldn't have asked for a better group of people to spend it with. But before we wrap this episode, I couldn't leave without talking to Nico, the one who was kind enough to let us into his world. Nico, kind of one last question before we get out of here is just, what advice do you have for people looking to get into this? So if we have people that are right on the edge, maybe they want to go out, they're curious, but they're a little hesitant, they don't know the basics or what to expect. Just what advice do you have for someone trying to get into this?
Just give it a swing, man. All you got to do is show up. It doesn't get any easier than that. All you have to do is drive out there, wear whatever you don't mind getting dirty. We have a ton of people that are ready to train you on how to do what we do. If you want to get good at it, or if you want to just go out there and have fun, we have plenty of weapons between us, the council, and other players. I just bought 5 more swords and shields to add to the loner pile, so there's really nothing stopping you.
There you go.
And it's, like I said, 85% success rate with people showing up, trying it one time and being like, yep, this is for me, and they stay.
If anyone goes out there, you're going to notice that is like a family. It very much even feels like that as soon as you walk in.
We're always looking for more people, man. More people to add to the family, as you said.
I would consider that a successful episode. I also want to say thank you to everyone out there in Thaliondor for letting me be part of your family. For a couple days, it was fun. It was kind of like once I got there, I was hanging out with some long lost friends, just from a different time. And I wasn't really sure what I was going to get myself into, but it ended up being a lot of fun. Got to swing a sword, got to hit a couple people, and equally got hit myself a couple times. But I have a lot of respect for what you guys do. It takes a lot of endurance, kind of a lot of energy that I wasn't used to having to deal with. So again, everyone go check out their YouTube, check out their Facebook. Highly recommend it for anyone who's curious about it. And I would say again, until we get on our next adventure, this is After Hour Comics.